What's happening, YouTube? You're in the building with the Avengers of Life Games and Current Culture. It's me. It's the living legend, Larry, my brother. How you doing?
Man, I am doing fine, man. I am up here just chilling. I'm up here thinking about my about Harriet Tubman and being out. I just feel like I'm about to be like, you know what? Deuces. We're out this piece. And then drink some wine to get with it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying you literally about to leave the border and go to Canada or something, or are you about to leave and go to Europe and you ain't coming back? That's what I
That's what I'm
thought.
talking about. But I don't think I'm going to Europe. I would probably first go to Canada since it's probably the most familiar place. But after that, I think I'd probably roll up to Costa Rica or something.
Now, me and my wife have batted around the idea of like going to Canada because she's from Detroit, so that's like right over the river from Canada.
Right.
And if
your wife from D-Town?
Yeah, she's from Detroit.
Oh, thank you for telling me, man. I didn't want to meet her. Well, I guess I've met her once. I think when you came out here, but I don't want to hang out with her and talk some mess and get cut.
Nah, hey man, look, I thought T Stream tell you, man, them chicks in the D, man, they tough.
I know.
and here's the thing, my wife, a lot of her friends are from the D and are doctors, so that tells you the grit of these women. These women got
they have
grit.
Scalpels.
Oh, exactly.
And not only do they have scalpels, they can cut me in such a way that they'll just be like, oh, that couldn't have possibly been me. No, he just fell and split his head on a rock. Or she'll cut me and then stitch me back up in such a way it doesn't leave a scar and be like, I never touched him.
Or she go to that medical bag and have your ass completely paralyzed from the neck down and then threaten you and do all kinds of crazy stuff. And what can you do? You got to be careful. Got to be careful with these medical folks.
Such a loving, loyal husband.
Right. Yeah, you got to be careful with your moves. But any event, what's happening to my people out there? Buzz, Trisha C, Olympia Horton. We love all you guys. Super chat at your leisure. Let us give you the rundown.
Spill the tea.
Yep. Spill the tea. What's going on? We're going to give you guys our assessment of what's going to happen this weekend on The Chi, on P-Valley. Can't wait to see those happen. Then we've got some trailers for some brand new shows. Captain Marvel 2 is tapping a young female director for the second part of the movie.
Black director,
but it's also going to have a women's spin that might make some people mad. However, the director is a pretty good one. And then we've also got a little bit of news about The Rock playing Black Adam. And then we're going to end on stocks, the moves we did today, and should the government not be intervening in the airline stock. So, Larry, without further ado, man, let's go ahead and jump on into what we give our final predictions for what we think is going to happen to The Chi this week. But let's take a look at the trailer one more time.
All right.
Just like you left it.
If things are out of order, it's just because we cleaned up before you came home. Sorry if everything is not exactly the way you left it. If you need anything, just let us know.
Maybe you should try to get some sleep. I'll be right outside all night.
Well, it goes down this Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. And Larry, I want to say this to the people. If you when you watch movies and TV shows, I pay attention to small details.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention to the music they splice into different scenes because that's trying to set the tone of what they're trying to highlight during that segment. And when what
Right.
we just saw, when she put that chair at the door, did you guys hear the change in tone in the music? They was
Yeah.
trying to invoke fear. They was trying to invoke a sense of desperation, and those type of things help elevate what's going on in a scene of a movie or a TV show at that moment. And I think they're showing us the tone for the next episode. But Larry, expand upon what you think is going to happen in this coming episode.
Well, she's afraid she's gonna have to get out. We already saw her out a little bit on another trailer, so we know she gets out the house a little bit, and we know she's gonna talk to Ronnie a little bit. So I think Ronnie's gonna end up being a little bit of he's gonna be sort of her place of respite. She's gonna find some camaraderie with him, because maybe no one else really knows what she went through. It's not like Ronnie fully understands what she went through, but he was there with her. He's the one that went and tried to find her. And I think they're gonna sort of find a connection. And I'm not talking about some weird romantic connection. I think they're just gonna have that sort of connection that two people get when they've gone through a traumatic experience together. It's like people who have been in a plane crash or something will stay in touch with each other,
Mm-hmm.
And I think it may be something like that. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. The way she jumped back when her mom tried to hug her and she didn't want to be touched, tells me that maybe she had been repeatedly raped or something and she doesn't want anybody touching her, Yeah, I'm curious to see how this all plays out. I want to know what's going to happen with her, I mean, she's got a body on her. That does something to a person. When you kill someone, I think that just does something to you. And I'm curious to know how that's going to affect her.
Right. And mentally, there are just going to be so many barriers she's going to have to overcome. And the things I'm looking for are what are going to be the beacons of hope in her life. I think Kevin is possibly going to be a beacon of hope for her.
Right.
Possibly maybe Emmett could be a beacon of hope for her, because I think deep down on the inside, she did have some real deal love for Emmett.
Right.
Ronnie's probably going to be a beacon of hope, but that leads me into a discussion. Larry, so many people are tired of Ronnie. Like
Really?
I'll be reading comments where a lot of cats are just like, why is Ronnie still on the show? What is his purpose? And I've said to them, well,
we saw it.
Yeah, right. They've resurrected his character to be a sympathetic person, to fulfill what he wanted to fulfill for his grandmother by saving Keisha. He did that. And, it's kind of like, what are they going to do with him next? So a lot of people's like, get rid of his ass. They don't see the value in him. And I think that he does have a little bit more intrinsic value left as a character on the show, depending upon where they decide to go with him being involved in Keisha's life.
Right. I mean, when you look at Ronnie is one of those, as much as people may not like him, Ronnie is really sort of a pivotal character that you need. So much of what has happened to the other main characters has centered around Ronnie's life and what he's done. I mean, you think about it from the very beginning of this show when what was his son's name? Jason?
Yeah.
When he was killed, that was Ronnie's son who was killed.
Right.
When all the stuff started to happen with the other dude, with the other Jason, the dude that ran the food truck, all that stuff started because he had picked up that gold chain and Ronnie went after looking for who killed his son. And when he found dude with the gold chain, he killed him. And so that started. And then you had the whole thing with Ronnie going to jail and then him getting out. And then it was just, I mean, everything that seems to have happened with other people's lives and other storylines in this show have been centered around somehow what Ronnie has done. And it hasn't stopped. It's still happening now with Keisha, she's gone missing, and why everybody else was out there, why Kevin's out there, up there about to try and bust his cherry with the little militant chick, and why Jake is up there hanging out with his brother, kicking in walls for cash, and why everybody else is doing everything else. Why when what's her name? Dre, why she's up there losing faith, talking about we need to start the grieving process. Ronnie's the only one still up there putting in work and finding the girl. And so Ronnie, I mean, for people who say, what is his purpose? What's not his purpose? What are these other people doing that is so pivotal in this show? I mean, other people, I'm not going to say that. Other people have roles in this show, but Ronnie's role is nowhere near from over. I mean, the way they did him with this, if they wanted to get rid of Ronnie, they should have killed Ronnie in that room. Like, they should have had Ronnie beat that dude, and him and Ronnie get into a fight. Keisha's able to escape, and maybe Ronnie and that dude end up killing each other in that room. That would have been the way to end Ronnie's story right there and give him a victorious out where he would have had redemption and he would have death. They could have gotten rid of his character all and wrapped his whole story up in there. And when they didn't wrap his story up, that told me they like Ronnie, and Ronnie's going to be around for a minute.
So, and to tie this up so we can move on, we've got a big show today. My folk, Tia Reed Griff and Olympia Horton. What's up, Bear Theater, by the way? This is something that has come up, Larry. Would the writers make this a story in which Keisha either ends up pregnant or with an STD, or Larry, possibly both? What would that look like if they went in that direction? That would certainly have to be something that they display next season. But how would that change this story?
Well, I'm not sure that they're going to give her an STD. They could, but that just seems unusually cruel. Mm-hmm. But I could very well see them with her pregnant, because they said they're going to give her an STD panel. I'm assuming with that panel, they're going to give her a pregnancy test.
Right.
And so with that, I would not be at all surprised if they came back and said, no, you don't have any STDs, but you are 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, however long she's been missing. If she came back, within that time frame, being pregnant, and because then you have this whole other dilemma. What do I do? Do I keep this child that from a monster that I actually killed, and how do I deal with that? I mean, what do? You grow up. You have the kid grow up, and you have to. First of all, you have to try not to hate and resent this child, and on top of that, you have to then eventually tell the child when he's asking where your dad is, just tell him your dad was a psycho kidnapper who raped me multiple times, and then I killed him to get free. That is a lot. That's a lot to ask a young 18-year-old child. That's a lot of a burden, a big burden to ask to put on an 18-year-old child, and. Yeah, I don't know, but I see them. I can see them going down that route. I hope they don't, but I can see them going down that route. But I hope I have known people who have had children through trauma, and it doesn't turn out good. The relationships are horrible. Of course, horrendous. Right. So much so that it's like, if you were going to have that child, you should have just given birth and given that child away, or never have given birth, because that child's relationship with their mother is so messed up.
And I agree. And for the likelihood of a continued dynamic story, I can easily see them going down the road if she gets pregnant. And you start talking about what's worse, STD or KID. And this chick having a KID long-term with the mental trauma that this child is going to represent could be chaotic for her. But then you also can bring up the moral dilemma of, should she abort the baby, have it, deliver it, and give it away? And maybe someone in her own family circle starts tripping like her mama. And then she can look at her mama and be like, but you married another woman. How is that morally right in the Bible? If they decide to go down that road, you can have all these other dilemmas going on surrounding her getting pregnant. And I think that if they wrote the story where Keisha kept the baby, you could make like you said, you could create a story every time she has a love-hate relationship when she looks at that child. It could be a story, but it could also be a pretty sad story too, because where does that end? Where would it end if you went down that road?
Well, here's the sad part is that if she has a child right now, her future as far as leaving and running track is done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think for a woman who is who's healthy and in a good place and has family to support her, I think a woman who, a young girl who got pregnant like that, and let's just say that she and Emmett were dating, or whoever boyfriend she had were dating, and she did get pregnant, and that boyfriend was like, please have the child. I still want you to go off to school. Either I'll come with you and help raise the child, or the mother was like, leave your baby here, go off to school and get an education. So when you come back to be a full-time mother, you'll be in a better place. I can see maybe someone in a healthy situation like that being able to make a decision to do that. But where she's currently at, I just don't see that going in any place good. It's kind of like, if she's going to have a baby, that whole situation is going to be jacked up. And if she doesn't have a baby, I hope everybody else around her, whether they agree with it or not, just give her the space to make that decision and peace, and so she can have a clear mind and clear conscience in making it. And honestly, I hope she ends up leaving the season and going away.
Right.
I like Keisha, and I like the fact that she's 18 now, because now I'm free to look. But I would really rather her leave and go away to school and run track and get her life together and find a place where she can be happy.
Right.
Because I don't think she's gonna find that in this shot. How's she gonna walk? How's she gonna leave and go to the bus stop and wait for the bus?
Larry.
How's she gonna, if she goes to work, how's she gonna go at night when she has a night shift, or she starts the daytime and the wintertime when she gets off at 5 o'clock and it's already dark? How's she gonna get on the bus?
The only way she would be able to do that, she's going to have to go through months of counseling. But I think that possibly her having a kid, Larry, could be the anchor that keeps her in Chicago until she can get the therapy needed to overcome both situations. So
if she needs a kid, call Emmett.
Man,
dudes dropping babies left and right. All he has to do is look at a hot chick and she's pregnant.
Well, Larry, he got his hand full because Dominique might mess around and be pregnant, and that is going to be as much of a diabolical baby as we can mention. That's
he's got both his hands full with all of that.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's the type of brother that should have came out the womb with a vasectomy. That's what should have happened to him, because his ass look in a woman's direction, and if she's a certain age, she pops up pregnant. And so I have no doubt that there's going to end up being a pregnancy from The Chi season 3. It's just a matter of who is it going to be. Now that leads me to P-Valley.
Could be Kev.
Could be. I doubt it, but it could be. So now, Larry, I'm going to move along. Final prediction for P-Valley. Just give me a quick 1 minute prediction of what you think is going to happen. We've already seen the trailer. I did the review. We know from the last episode, our homegirl Mercedes got locked up. Everybody's wondering what's happened to her. We've seen Mississippi grow up. We've seen Dre getting more desperate to get this deal done. And we learned that Autumn is as crazy as a leaf in the summertime. What's going to happen, Larry?
Oh, big up the buzz.
Yes,
703 with the channel support.
So before Larry gives his opinion, Buzz, I got to give you something. Let me see here. What can I give for you that I haven't done in a long time? This is one of my favorite ones because it is really like that right now.
I represent the rent is too damn high party. Playing the silly game, but it's not going to happen. The rent too damn high movement. The people I'm here to represent can't afford to pay their rent. Listen, someone's stomach, child's stomach just growled. Did you hear it? Rent is too damn high.
Bud, I appreciate that, man. And if I could change that to the diapers is too damn high, that's what I would change it to. Them diapers is too damn high.
Oh,
so
man.
We appreciate that. Now, Larry, what's going to happen? What is going to happen on P-Valley this episode coming up? Episode 5.
All right. So I think that that Mercedes is getting out of jail. Of course, she's getting out of jail. She's gonna come back. She's gonna come back and try and act like she's a boss bitch, but she's gonna get checked real quick. She's gonna roll up in that spot, and she's gonna realize that the M-I, crooked letter I, humpback I.
Golly. And anyway, I hate to admit this.
My point is,
I hate to admit this, Larry, but I went from Autumn to Mercedes to now I'm on Crooked Letter. I'm starting to have a soft spot for the Crooked Letter, man, and I don't like it.
I'm telling you,
I
think
like
Mississippi is gonna be Clifford's new bottom bitch. I think she's gonna become his new bottom.
No, I gotta keep my loyalty to that boss Mercedes, that shiny non-Bentley Mercedes, and I'm starting to have TV feelings for the Crooked Letter. I don't like it.
No, Mercedes went from a Maybach to a old SL with a dent.
Oh my Lord, have mercy. Now, what I want to know is, in the trailer we saw, her and her mama was in jail, and I asked the people in my review, do they not give you clothes to be warm if you in jail? Because they showed the guard arresting her from the back, and he looked a little too happy behind her arresting her, and they threw her butt in jail, basically in her stripper clothes. They don't give you nothing to cover up in that cold ass jail cell, Larry. What?
No, man, they're in Mississippi. Man. I know you've read some of the articles about how horrific the prison system is in Mississippi. It's just, I mean, it's horrible. They might as well throw people in medieval dungeons. It's so bad. I mean, the medieval dungeons might be better.
Yeah.
I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, I've seen some shows recently where they show like those prisons where they're flooded. They show them where people are literally, like, there was one dude up there. They showed him where he was on the top bunk and he was basically just hanging on, trying to stay up out the water. And they had rats swimming in the water. The place was flooded. People were walking through like waist deep. People were getting shanked all up in there. It was horrible. Mississippi has the worst prison system in the country. Is horrific. So I'm not surprised if they left her in there like that.
Damn. So when she gets out, what's going to happen with her and her mother and the place she was going to use as a gym for the kids?
Well, I mean, her mom signed the lease. She took the money, signed the lease. The mom's going to do what the mom's going to do. I think she's going to start that. She's going to start her, her congregation. And I think, Mercedes is going to try and figure out something with her life, but she's going to realize she doesn't have any money. And she's going to realize that she doesn't really have any other options right now. Yeah, and so she's going to have to go back to the club. I don't think she's going to go back this next episode. She might, but I don't think she's going to go back onto the pole this next episode. I think it'll probably be the episode after. I think this episode is going to be about her trying to get that space back from her mom. Probably her trying to figure out what she's going to do now that she's supposedly not stripping. And then she's going to end up realizing she doesn't have any options. She's going to go back to the club, and she's going to realize that she's no longer the bottom bitch. That Mississippi took her spot, and Mississippi's going to have had her confidence spiked, and so she's going to be like, "Yeah, I'm not giving this spot. I got a kid." Mississippi's going to be like, "I got a mouth to feed, or multiple mouths to feed." She's like, she's not going to give up that money.
Well, here's the thing with Mississippi. I agree with what you're saying. But the dilemma with Mississippi is, I think in the trailer they revealed the baby daddy being the white dude who's been beating her. And he's going to be her Achilles heels from actually taking that final step and being the boss beat in the club. He might be the one pulling her back down, which we might see conflict between her and Mercedes. And then ultimately we're going to see the white baby daddy beating her, pulling her down, which is going to ultimately lead to Diamond putting pressure on him into another altercation. So
that's gonna be terrible because Diamond kills a white dude in Mississippi. Man, I mean,
he up the creek without a paddle.
I mean, he might need to ask dude, "Hey man, let's go on a trip somewhere and take him to Dubai or something, and then
push his ass off a cliff,
something." Because you kill a white dude in Mississippi. I mean, it doesn't even matter if you do it in self-defense. I mean, you're in some trouble. I mean, if I was in Mississippi and killed a white dude, I don't even care if I was completely justified. I'm not sticking around to tell my story. I am so far gone out that piece.
Yeah. As our good folk Trisha C said, everything is worse in Mississippi. Everything.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we'll move on, but we can't wait for P-Valley. Episode 5 should be a doozy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we've got trailers to watch to let you guys know if we think it's going to be good, to introduce you to new TV and movie entertainment. And the very first one on the docket on the list today is something called Woke on Hulu. Let's take a look and see if we can determine if it's really as woke as the name implies.
Are you?
Hey, Keith.
You know, I did my first toast and butter cartoon in the bathroom wall.
Mm-hmm, it's still there.
I know. Someone drew a dick in Toast's mouth.
Oh, I was drunk.
Okay, I thought that was you. I'm an artist. It's important to preserve a little mystery.
You're not mysterious. Lenny Kravitz, he's mysterious.
Lenny Kravitz, Batman. You're on your way to the top. Newspapers, TV show, movie deals.
So you're Keith Knight?
I am.
It's funny, I didn't think you'd be tall.
Happens all the time.
I just love your work and what you say with that.
Why is it that as people of color we're always having to stand for something in our work? Just the cartoonists.
Because the world's a racist place.
And that's why I keep it light.
Keep it light.
Yeah, keep it light.
Don't move. Central lead, the suspect in question.
What?
6 foot tall.
You got the wrong guy.
Copy that. Says in the suspect.
I can't believe they did us like that. Are you cool?
Over here, man. Mr. Policeman did a number on you, didn't he? Now you can be his. It's just like having a superpower.
No.
Crazy with a superpower.
Oh, boy.
What's really going on, bro?
Earlier, I got my ass beat by the police. Now, I'm seeing things.
Houston, we have a problem. Man, you woke.
Let's pop bottles, make cupcakes.
Did you guys lighten my photo? I look like Sammy Sosa. Am I too black for my own comic strip?
No, trust me. No one's gonna ever accuse you of being too black.
I'm sorry, what?
Down here, my brother. That's right. I'm a talking trash can.
This is all wrong.
I tell you what's wrong. Those man-bun, co-opting, gentrifying devils.
So you have about 30 minutes till they trap you in the funky place.
It feels like I'm already there. If you were me, what would you do?
You let this out, so you have to deal with it. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
You know what to do.
Boy, I ain't got time.
This is that moment in the Matrix. Do I take the red pill or the blue pill?
I've got both in my room if you want to experiment.
Boy, I ain't got time.
Yo, that looks dope.
I'll give it a try because when you come out with something called woke, you better have a plot line that features being woke, getting woke, or you woke your ass up. And in the beginning, I was sitting here, I was like, man, I don't know about this. It look corny as hell. And then eventually it got to the point where they gave the dilemma to this guy who is writing comics as a black person. He wasn't really woke until the situation happened to him. And then from there, his comics and his cartoons and things that he's coming to in his mind start waking up and helping him get woke. So that got me intrigued. Larry, give me your thoughts.
Man, I'm excited for that one. That looks good. Man, I don't want to have to wait all the way to September to watch that. I want to watch that right now.
Man, doesn't seem like Larry, everything is coming out in September. Like,
man, we're gonna be crushed in September.
Man, we're gonna be screwed. So the end
you're already not sleeping.
I know, man. Like we might have to do like Larry said. We might have to go online. We might have to go 5 days a week, and even if it's for 30 minutes, because Lovecraft Country is getting ready to come on the end of this month. The Power Show starts in September. The boys come on in September. Lord have mercy. And then P-Valley's still going to be on in September. So, but anyway, I didn't mean to cut you off on that one. But Larry, finish your thoughts on that story. I'm with Trisha C. It's pretty unique. Normally, I would oppose a real life storyline with cartoon characters and trash cans talking, but you got Cedric the Entertainer being the main trash can. He tried to throw through the barbershop window. I caught that. So it should be funny, but it looks like it's going to teach a good storyline. Finish your
It
thought.
is. I like that. I like that about it. It looks like it's one of those shows that's gonna make people laugh, and when they turn it off, they're gonna be like, "Oh shit, I think I learned something."
Right.
You know.
Right.
They're not
Right.
gonna. They might not even realize it. Then they might go to work the next day, or they might be hanging out with their friends somewhere, and then all of a sudden somebody says something, and they're gonna be like, "Yo, man, that's not cool. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute." They might end up getting sneak attacked with that one.
Exactly.
That looks dope, man. I'm looking forward to that one a lot. That looks really good.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for it. We'll probably do some reviews of it if we can squeeze it in. September the 4th. And we also got City on the Hill season 2 about to come out with Aldous Hodge, which is a damn good show, ladies and gentlemen. Aldous Hodge, Kevin Bacon. If you haven't been watching it, Mucella put me on to that. You need to check that one out as well.
Man, if you're not watching that, you are missing out.
You're missing out, man. Aldous Hodge, what can I say? He is a talented young brother. Marvel need to put him on so that you guys can really see just how good of an actor this young brother is. But we'll move right along to
when are we getting the new Shameless?
Man, I don't know. I'm waiting on that too. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, the hits keep coming. We've got another trailer that we're going to take a look at. This one's called Judas and the Black Messiah. Let's take a look, see if it's going to be worth our time. Oh, my Lord, have mercy. Here this guy go.
I am a revolutionary.
So I'll take it you're going to watch it regardless of the trailer didn't give you a real idea of where they're going with the story. You there for it first day, sounds like.
Oh, I'm all in for that, man. I see what they're doing with it. I see what they're doing where they're going to talk about the infiltrators that went in there, but I'm focused on the good parts of that.
Okay.
You can kill a freedom fighter, but you can't kill freedom.
No, you can't. And the other one, what they say, you can kill the revolutionary, but you can't kill the revolution. Those are t-shirt quotes. Don't be surprised. You see them in shoplifegames.com in the near future.
I might have to stop by your store again.
Yeah, man. Now here's the issue though. It's sad in theaters only. But Larry, can they quit lying? That shit ain't gonna be in theaters. It's gonna be straight to VOD somewhere for a fee. Just stop it.
Right.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop.
They need to go ahead and just sell that to Disney.
Yeah, man.
Sell that to Disney.
I mean,
Ryan Coogler produced it. He's already got the inroad over there. Just go ahead and be like, look, man, we know this is never going to the theater. Let's go ahead, Disney, buy it off us, put it up on your Disney Plus app. You can put it right next to Beyonce's Black is King.
Now, what I do like about it, I love Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield. Both are very talented young brothers.
Yeah, Lakeith gets it in.
Both of them do. They both get it in. It's just that I didn't really get the gist of the trailer. I mean, I understand what they're saying, but I don't really know what the storyline is any more than Lakeith Stanfield's character was dubbing as a fake FBI agent who looks like he's crooked. And
you know, the Black Panthers were infiltrated by the FBI. And so I think the storyline is about the infiltration of the Black Panthers by the FBI, which led to a shootout that killed a number of the Panthers. They basically back in the day, they basically firebombed an entire apartment building and killed a bunch of people because they said the Panthers were there and they got into a big shootout and they just firebombed an apartment building and killed a bunch of folks. So, but all that was tied into the informant passing the FBI information.
Okay. Oh, okay. Got it. That makes the story more relevant. Now, okay. So yeah, I mean, I was going to check it out anyway, but now that you've connected those dots, I get where they're going with the story. So yeah, I'll check it out. We'll probably do a review for it. You know,
I used to have to read all that kind of history. When I used to get in trouble as a kid, my dad used to make me read Black history. I used to try and tell him, this is not an incentive for me not to get in trouble. I like this. I was like, I'm loving this.
My godmother made us read it, but we didn't really do much with the Black Panther movement. She made us learn about people like Toussaint Louverture. He was a black guy during the Napoleon Bonaparte era, and he went down there and he started doing liberations of his own. She made us go way back.
He's a dude that liberated Haiti.
Exactly. Yep. And he sat under the tutelage of Napoleon. Then he basically pulled a rug underneath his feet, went down there and liberated Haiti. and she made us go
Straight
back
up
to.
G.
Yep, so yeah, we got it. So folks, we're definitely there for that one. And now we'll move on to a little bit of news in the comics. Now, my folk Buzz is in there buzzing about the Black Adam and what's going on with him and Rock playing the Black Adam. So we've got a little information about that. We'll play that, and then we'll talk about the young Black director who will be doing Captain Marvel. She's a dynamo, but let's talk about Black Adam first.
Today, we got our very first tiny little teaser at The Rock's Black Adam, the nemesis of Shazam. Now, I played this morning on my DC and other movie channel, Cosmic Culture. Be sure to check it out if you haven't. Head over and subscribe if you love DC, Star Wars, and other awesome movies as well. This morning, DC officially released all of the guests that they're going to be having at DC Fandom. There are a ton of celebrities showing up, including Gal Gadot, and of course, The Rock. The Rock joined DC by taking on the character Black Adam, and this morning on Twitter, he released a tiny little teaser and our very first look at Black Adam. Now, it's very quick. If you blinked, you might have missed it, but it is nonetheless our very first look. Now, what we're looking at here seems to be The Rock as Theo Adam uncovering the tomb of the original Black Adam. The original Black Adam was known as Teth Adam, and he was born in 1279 BC, where he tried to rule Egypt. At the time, he was granted the powers of Shazam, but his powers were taken away from him, and his powers were taken away and placed in a mystical scarab necklace. When the magic wore out, Black Adam would end up dying because his body no longer had the magic to prevent him from aging, and his body and the necklace were placed in the tomb of Ramesses II. Later on, Theo Adam would go on to discover this tomb, and he would end up being the reincarnated version of Black Adam, and that is what I believe that we see right here. I believe this scene right here is going to be The Rock as Theo Adam discovering the tomb of the original Black Adam and becoming the new Black Adam. It's a quick little teaser, but The Rock did release this on Twitter with the words, "They needed a hero. Instead, they got me." Excited for the first ever global celebration of the DC multiverse. Hashtag DC Fandom. This one's just for you, the fans around the world. Stay healthy, my friends, and I'll see you all on August 22nd, The Man in Black, Black Adam. DC Fandom has promised a lot of exclusives and a lot of new stuff, and it seems like some of that new stuff could be for Black Adam. Possibly seeing The Rock in the Black Adam suit for the very first time at DC Fandom. So if you're a fan of DC, be sure to check out DC Fandom on August 22nd.
And The Rock got his hands full. You know, brother just bought the XFL, and now he's trying to light a fire underneath the flailing DC movie franchise other than Aquaman and Wonder Woman. Larry, is this Rock playing the Black Adam going to be the resurgence that DC needs to take on Marvel finally?
Two things. One, all DC live action movies suck except for Wonder Woman. And well, let me put it like this. It might be if it's about him. If it's a villain movie, if it's a villain, because the villain movies from DC seem to be okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like Suicide Squad, good. Joker, good. Other than that, Wonder Woman was solid. All the other ones were not all of them, but most of them were pretty garbage. The ones that were decent were like the Dark Knight ones when Batman was like borderline good, bad. People were confused. And so
the Dark Knight series was great. That was
good. They were pretty good.
Yeah,
they were pretty good.
But the stuff after that, when Val Kilmer, I'm not Val Kilmer, damn. God, what is my man's
Ben
name?
Affleck?
No, not Ben Affleck. Yeah, that his rendition with Batman. I like Ben Affleck, but that Ben Affleck and that movie wasn't that good to me. But the Dark Knight series was great. That series.
See,
was great.
I like the Ben Affleck joints because what's his name? The dude that died that killed himself or drug overdose, whatever his name was, Heath Ledger. He was so good.
He was great. He was so good.
He made that movie.
But having said that, Jaquan Phoenix, I will not call that man Joaquin because his name is spelled Jaquan. Y'all stop this mess. His name is not no Joaquin. I don't give a damn what he say. His name is spelled Jaquan, and that's what I will call him. Jaquan Phoenix played a hellified Joker. I mean, man, I couldn't take my eyes off him in that movie. So if they let The Rock go full tilt bad guy, I think we can have something.
This is what I don't understand, right? He signs it, the Man in Black.
Right.
I want to see the Man in Black play a black man. I'm saying the dude is biracial. He's mixed. He's black and he's whatever he is, Polynesian or something. He's always playing up all the other side. I want to see the dude play a black man. Why did they have to give him some long straight hair? His hair is not straight when The Rock grows his hair out. If he has any little bit left, he's got a little fro. He's got hair the same grade as his dad. Why couldn't they have just made him a black man?
Well, I'll answer that question, but let me thank my folk Buzz. Yes, I was talking about Christian Bale, so forgive me for that slip, but I was talking about Christian Bale. And Larry, you know good and damn well why they never let him play up his black side until it's a black movie. You know why.
I'm just saying, there's no reason why they can't have him be a black man and still make money. Look at Will Smith. Will Smith is one of the highest, if not the highest paid actor. I think he's paid more than Tom Cruise. Clearly a black dude.
Yeah, but The Rock is the highest paid actor right now, and he's got the biggest social media as far as an actor too. So and you know why they playing up his lighter complexion side.
Oh well, until he plays a black man, I'm pretty much done with The Rock, man. I used to love The Rock. I'm just tired. At some point, you just have to say, you know what, Dwayne, I'm done. Get it right. Represent all sides for all of us. I mean, it was black folks out there representing for him. It was black folks that loved him, and then everybody else came on board. And we're talking about from way back in the day. Back in the day when Can You Smell What the Rock Is Cooking? Everybody was all about everybody else. Everybody was about what's his name? About Hulk Hogan. People were about what's his name? Brock Lesnar. People were about all these other white cats out there. All the black folks were down for him. And he never wants to represent for us. So until you represent for us, Dwayne, I'm done representing for you.
Well, Dwayne, I haven't thrown you to the wolves yet. I haven't put you in the same category as Tiger Woods, not yet. So
I haven't thrown you to the wolves. I'm just not. It's just like, no, I'm not saying driving you out to the middle of the forest and dropping you off. I'm just, when you knock on the door, I'm just saying, nah, bruh, I'm not home for you.
Well,
until you decide you want to come home, I'm not home for you.
Rock, I'm not where Larry is at with you just yet. I'm interested to see how you do Black Adam and will you resurrect DC movies. And I'm interested to see what you do with the XFL. How will you sprinkle culture on both these entities? I'll hold some more reservation until I see those things with you. But because
I'll tell you what, Rock, you want to get right with me? Wear a t-shirt that says Black Lives Matter, My Life Matters. Do that.
Okay. And speaking of Black Lives, Larry, I have a young female director for you that is going to be doing Captain Marvel 2. Let you take a look at this hot young lady as she be stepping into the role of the director for Captain Marvel number 2.
Captain Marvel 2 appears to have found its new director in Nia DaCosta, and almost all the takes I've seen about this are awful. Let's break it down. This was broken as an exclusive over on Deadline. And the article reads, exclusive, in what is sure to be one of the bigger directing jobs to be taken off the table in recent months, we are hearing that Nia DaCosta, who directed the anticipated reboot of Candyman, has been tapped as the director on Marvel's sequel to Captain Marvel. Disney and Marvel Studios had no comment. DaCosta takes over for Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, who directed the first pick to massive box office success. Marvel is known for switching up its directors on its popular franchises like Thor, Iron Man, Captain America to give the next installment a fresh voice. and had been meeting with candidates for the past couple of months. Okay, so let's talk about what's actually going on here, what the fans are actually talking about, because like the beginning of that statement's really true on Deadline. The second part of that statement is like, shill. And here's what I mean. Captain Marvel 1 was a poorly directed movie, and even though the movie is a billion-dollar franchise, it's one of the weaker installments in the MCU. Now, I will say personally, I like Captain Marvel way more now than I did when I first watched it. If you haven't seen it in some time, maybe check it out again, like for real. I know like the Brie hate is real. Everybody loves to Ree for Brie. But in all seriousness, the movie really isn't that bad. It's kind of a fun ride, but not spectacular by any means. The reason the two directors from the first movie are not returning is not to give it a fresh take. It is because the movie was a weaker installment, and they want the other movie to be really, really good. And now let me give you my raw take on Nia. Here's the deal. Just to be real, she's kind of an unknown entity, right? There's not a lot known about her. She directed a Western movie with Tessa Thompson. And then, yes, she is directing the reboot of Candyman. And if you don't know about this Candyman reboot, this is something being produced by Jordan Peele. It is supposed to be a very big deal. And there was an incredibly amazing trailer that dropped earlier this year that teased out the Candyman movie. And so a lot of people are saying that this movie, this Candyman reboot, it must be really, really good. The buzz must be really high on it because they are swooping in and they are hiring Nia for this job. Now, other people have reported that Marvel was meeting with other directors as early as this last weekend to try to make the final decision on who would direct Captain Marvel 2. It was heavily rumored that the Mandalorian director Deborah Chow was in the running to direct Captain Marvel 2. She was my personal choice because I absolutely loved what she did in the Mandalorian episodes. I think she's literally the best director in that whole batch of the first season. And what she did in episode 3, like, beautiful Star Wars. And just being real, at first I was sort of disappointed. I was like, who's Nia? I would have preferred Deborah, but at the end of the day, like, Deborah's gonna go on and kill it in Star Wars, so I'm totally okay with that. And Nia being associated with Jordan Peele, being tapped by Jordan Peele to do that movie is a big deal. He's a creative genius. He must have seen some stuff in her abilities as a director that are pretty substantial to bring her on board. And of course, you gotta trust Kevin Feige. Like, at this point, if you don't trust Kevin Feige, you have trust issues.
I like this dude, man. He's fired up.
Oh yeah. Hey man, I'm about that life for her. I did do a review of that Candyman, and it looked to be well done. And it's something to say when there's a well done trailer where they give you a little bit but not too much, and they put everything together properly. And
right.
That's all I know of her, but I'm happy for her. If Jordan Peele is co-signing and Kevin Feige is co-signing for her, then rock on, my black sister.
Yeah. Power to the people. I think, I mean, I'm excited for her. I'm hoping that she does something fantastic with it. I think that when we have new voices, that we get something great. And, I like to see new voices, and I hope we get the right voices, and I hopefully she'll be fantastic. I don't know a whole lot about her. She looks familiar. I'm sure I've seen her. I don't know whether it's been on interviews or red carpets or something. I'm sure I've seen her because she looks really familiar. But we'll see what happens with it. I mean, I'm thinking like it doesn't seem like she's gonna go bad with. She can go wrong with it. I mean, to me, Captain Marvel was so bad that there's nowhere to go but up.
You on a scale of 1 to 10, what did you give the last Captain Marvel? And I read what they're planning on doing with the script, and so this is when it might get bad for a whole lot of you men. But what did you not like about the first Captain Marvel? I think a lot of people didn't like the movie because they don't like Brie Larson. I'm a big fan of Brie Larson. That's my girl.
I didn't mind Brie Larson at all. Okay. I didn't mind her at all. I just thought that either I mean, I guess I should watch it again, but either it be the story or the direction. I felt like it was maybe a 5, 6 if I'm being generous, but I'm gonna go and say a 5 because I'll be honest with you, I have high expectations for Marvel movies. Now, if that were a DC movie, that probably would have been like a 7.5, 8. Because that would have been one of the better DC movies, but it was one of the worst Marvel movies.
One of the worst?
It might be the worst Marvel movie.
No, I can't say it's the worst.
What's worse?
That first Ant-Man.
I liked Ant-Man.
I liked it too.
Ant-Man, and I like Ant-Man and Wasp. I like them both.
I liked it too, but I like Captain Marvel a little better.
I really wanted to see, and I haven't seen the script, so I don't know what they're going to do, but I really wanted, I heard there were rumors they were going to do a Captain Marvel with like Captain Marvel and Shuri and Okoye and what's her name? Wasp
okay. So that's what this is going to lead into, Secret Invasion. So basically, from what I read, the beginning of how they're going to start the Secret Invasion is that in this movie, you're going to have the Skrulls being taking over people, and you don't know who's a Skrull and who's really like, a superhero male. So what's going to happen is all the male superheroes are going to be infected by the Skrulls, and it's going to be led up to the women and all the women you just mentioned teaming up to figure out who's who and to take back over and get the men back to being the regular men and not being infiltrated by the Skrulls. That's what they're trying to lead into with this storyline.
Okay.
Secret Invasion. Secret. Okay. The men are going to be effing up, and the women are going to have to come in and save us.
I can get that. I can get down with that. I don't think it's realistic, but I can get down with that.
Yeah. So that's what they're going to do with it, my brother. And we'll have to see. Hopefully,
hey, Buzz, I saw your comment up there talking about Monica Rambeau. So yeah, we know how they do us. We know how they do us. Like they should have, like we should not be waiting any longer for Wonder Woman's sister either. We should no longer have to wait for that, but we still are.
It's coming. It is coming. Y'all sit tight. Progress is being made finally, and we'll get there. Yeah. And that leads us to our last subject, where progress is really made on my channel, but sometimes y'all just tend to overlook this good stuff. If you're finding me and Larry for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. We're talking about stocks. One hot topic of debate this week has been the stimulus program. And what a lot of senators and congressional folks are trying to have in this stimulus is more bailout money for the airplane industry. And how would that affect the stock? Me and Larry are going to break it down after you see this clip by one of our favorite stations, CNBC.
Here's the thing that I don't understand. I think we all want to keep people employed, and we all want to keep the airlines in the sky and the planes flying so that when the economy does recover, it will help make the recovery even better. What I don't understand is why the taxpayer should be subsidizing the shareholders of these airlines in any way whatsoever. It baffles my mind that I, as a taxpayer in America, should be subsidizing a shareholder of an airline. Can you specifically a shareholder of an airline as opposed to a shareholder of a private restaurant or another company or what have you? Can you explain why that would be necessary?
So let's be really clear. This is not propping up the shareholders. In fact, our program bans stock buybacks and dividends. And this is a payroll pass-through, so that keeps people connected to their jobs. As long as we have for-profit, employer-based healthcare in this country, you got to keep people in their jobs to keep them also connected to their healthcare. And the analysis on this is that it's 100% return to the taxpayers, because you have people who are continuing to pay into the system, who are continuing to contribute to the economy, and we keep service to all of our communities. So this is another piece that's really, really important in terms of fighting the virus.
Can you just hold on for a second? You called it a pass-through. If the money were not to come, the airlines would file for bankruptcy, or would be forced to file, likely be forced to file for bankruptcy, or find private capital. If they didn't do those things, it wouldn't. That's what when you said it's a pass-through. I don't understand. I understand the idea of a pass-through, that some of it's going to go to the employees, but ultimately the whole thing doesn't work, and therefore the shareholders get injured. Correct?
No, actually, this is what we're doing, is that this money is allocated just to go to payroll and to benefits. It can only be spent on that. It can't be spent on anything else. So this is really a jobs program to keep people in their jobs. And that's why it's a direct return to the taxpayers. So this keeps the airlines intact, keeps them from filing for bankruptcy. We've been through that before. And the public gets hurt with that. Consumers get hurt with that. The shareholders get hurt with that. That's what we want to avoid happening here. And this keeps the airlines intact, in place, able to serve all the communities that they were serving before.
And you're telling me that
requirement
but
goes
therefore
away
the
on
shareholders are
October 1st.
beneficiary of this. The idea that the shareholders not a beneficiary of this is crazy. Because
Well, I mean,
the
is
airline
that a
wouldn't be-
bad thing, Andrew? Is that a bad thing? But the point is, the point of this program is to keep people in their jobs.
I don't know if it's a bad thing. It's an unfair thing if we're deciding that we're effectively going to advantage certain shareholders over other shareholders. Yes, that would actually be a bad thing. Do I want shareholders to lose their money? No, nobody wants that. But at a time when we're trying to figure out how to save people, look, I think a lot of people are happy to help people with unemployment insurance so that people can get by. The idea that I'm going to subsidize effectively a hedge fund manager who's decided to make a bet that the airlines are going to be rescued by the government, that's not something that most people are going to think is very fair.
And ladies and gentlemen, the guy sitting across from me, you might as well say he's a hedge fund manager because he's betting the house that the government is going to save the airlines. He's been telling y'all for the longest time, buy some airline for that reason. And my opposition to him is not that what he's saying is bad information. It's just that I don't agree with bailing them out. I'm not for this thing where the big businesses continue to get bailed out and we're struggling to get these a-holes in the Senate to give people $600 a week that lasts till January. I mean, my God, but you're about to bail out another big company that's gotten too big to fail. That's what I'm not with. I'm with being linear. For as much as you give companies, same thing needs to be given to people, especially in their time of need. Don't be running around here talking about free market capitalism if you're going to always bail out big business. So that's where I part ways with Larry, because what he's saying is absolutely true. They're probably
I personally don't agree with bailing folks out.
I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm saying you're smart to say that get the stock because the government is going to bail them out. That's all I'm saying. You're saying
they're going to do what they're going to do. So if they're going to do it, I'm not getting any bailouts. I'm not getting any PPE. When they start handing out free money, they're going to tell me I make too much to get anything. So I'm going to go ahead and make my money where I can. If that happens to be buying up, bottom of the barrel, stock prices on airlines, and then just sitting on it for 6 months or a year, maybe even 2 years, and then it shoots back up. I mean, some of these airline stocks were, $30, $50, $70, $100 a share, and if they're now trading for $10, $12, $30, why not? Snap them up while they're cheap and just sit on them.
If you guys can afford to have the money just sitting there, go for it. The issue why I'm not buying them right now is because we're nowhere near a vaccine, and I don't want my money just sitting there that long. So when I hear that we've gotten somewhere close to someone has a vaccine, because ladies and gentlemen, let's keep this thing 100%. Even when they do have a good working vaccine, the economy is not going to just start working when they start taking the vaccine, because you're going to go through people afraid to take it. You're going to go through the time period of getting everyone to take it. And then you've got to wait for the economy to start clicking probably another 6 months to a year after people get vaccinated. So and when it comes to buying the airline stock, I'm bearish on it because I don't want my money just sitting out waiting that long. Now, when we get a vaccine, that might be when I jump in because I know you're still going to have a year to wait then too. And so that's where I'm at with it. But Larry's saying, just get it now and act like it's a savings account.
I think it's gonna yield some serious dividends coming up. I think you're gonna pick up some cheap airline stock. You'll sit on it maybe for, let's just say, a year. Let's say that in 6 months. It's August now. Let's say in 6 months in January that they actually have, or January, 6 months, let's say in February, they have a vaccine. Mm-hmm. And so it's going to take several months for them to get those, because we're talking about billions of doses around the world. Within the country, we're talking about hundreds of millions of doses. So we're talking about hundreds of millions of doses within this country and billions globally. So it's going to take months to distribute all that. So we already know that there are people out there, that you have people like Bill Gates with the Gates Foundation and that are out there building warehouses to do nothing else but manufacture, store, and then distribute from those vaccine doses. And so we know that they're going to be out there. They're going to be made. They're going to be distributed. And maybe that takes from February to June. Maybe it takes February to May. I don't know. But if we're out there now, all of a sudden, if you see the numbers start dropping, you get the vaccine, the numbers go down because people are vaccinated. Well, when it comes June, comes July, comes August, people are like, I have the travel bug. I'm going to go somewhere. The other countries say, okay, it's safe for Americans to come back into our country. We're going to open our borders back up. Guess what? Your $10 airline stock is all of a sudden is going to jump up, because what happens is it's going to skyrocket. When everybody realizes the airlines are back in favor, the airline stock's going to skyrocket, and you need to dump that crap and get up out of it, because then it's going to level back out. And it may level, you may buy a $10 stock and it may jump up to $40, $50 a share before it levels out around 30, 35.
Mm-hmm.
That's my speculation. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm not telling you to go buy anything and do anything like that. That's just what I suspect is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm saying that if you don't want your money sitting on the sideline, wait until someone has an FDA approved vaccine and then jump in, because a lot of stocks is going to start going up a little bit when you hear that FDA has approved a vaccine. Then they're going to go down a little bit because people are going to actually have to get the vaccine. Like Larry said, that's going to take some time. You're talking about, that's probably going to be a year before everyone that needs it has it, or everyone that wants access to it has gotten it. And then you might start seeing those same stocks go back up and start staying in a certain place and leveling out. So for me, I'm not going to put my cash into them till I hear someone is at the very last stage or is approved by the FDA for the vaccine. And that's when some of these leisure stocks, I'll be jumping back in: cruises, airlines,
here's the problem with that, though. If you wait until there's a vaccine, the moment they say there's a vaccine, if they announce on the 9:00 news or the 11:00 news on Wednesday that there's a vaccine, Thursday, before the market even opens, all the big boys who are going to do all the after hours trading, all the pre-market trading, all the stuff that us retailers don't have access to, that stock price is going to open up. It may have closed the day before at $10. It's going to open up the next day at like 25, 30. So your opportunity to get in at those bottom barrel prices is going to be gone. You need to get in and hold it for a little bit. And then when it starts to shoot up, that's when you can get it. So yeah, you do need to put in money that you don't need to worry about tying up. So if you have $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 that you can put aside, that you don't worry, like if you just have money sitting in a savings account earning 0.03% interest because it's in a savings account, throw it up in the stock market. You could lose some, but you could also make a fortune.
If you're willing to wait like 2 years. So
it's not going to take 2 years for the airline stocks.
I'm not willing to wait.
I don't think it's going to take 2 years for the airline stocks, and I don't think it's going to take 2 years for the cruise stocks. I think the cruise stocks are going to go up maybe within like 6 or 8 months. I think depending on when it hits, like if the vaccine is actually coming online in the summer, then you may have to wait until the next summer before the cruise ship stocks really pick up. But
2 years,
the airline
like I said,
go right away.
He just reiterated my point. 2 years, like I said, for
all
that leisure
for the
stuff.
Cruise ships. For the airlines, I think they're going right away.
No. You guys can book it. Like bookings.com, you can book it. If you want to see the quadruple digit number return on those stocks, you're going to have to wait 2 years. Now,
all right. Well,
that's not saying
2 years.
Yeah, go for it.
Since you're talking about 2 years, here's one I think that you'll like. It's Cushman and Wakefield.
I've never even heard of them.
Their ticker is CWK. They do property. They do commercial properties all over the world, and their stock right now is $10.79. And I fully expect that you're going to have to sit on that for at least a good year, and then it's going right back up.
Yeah, 2 years, 2 years, but that's another one where you can probably sit on and wait. RGA is another one of those commercial property holding ones you could sit on too. And they took some fluctuation this week. I had some and I sold it because it went up to like $95. Then it started creeping back down. My cost average was $79. I got out at $89 because
what was their ticker?
RGA.
RGA.
And so I did a lot of trimming of my stocks. I took some profit, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of stocks I bought in March, I took some of those profits and I cashed them in on some Apple. I had bought Ford, listening to Larry, and then at the last minute, I made like 10 cents a share, and I jumped out of Ford. And I
got scared. I
did see where they're talking about wanting to go private, but I don't believe that's going to happen because, like they said in that piece, you've got whole family members with that generational name who make money off the dividends. So if you like a good dividend stock, Ford pays 8%, 8.9% dividend. Stock is very cheap right now. And they've got a brand new CEO who is aggressive about renovating some of their fleet to be hot EVs, including the Mustang, including the Bronco. And then he got another car he wants to turn into an EV monster. So if you got some money to sit on something and wait 2 more years with them, Ford is your place. But while you wait, Ford pays you a dividend back. But
I'll tell you what they should do. They should bring out an EV version of the Ford Explorer, because the Ford Explorer was the most popular SUV on the market in the country for years. I mean, years. Everybody had a Ford Explorer. And if they brought that back as an electric vehicle, woo.
Well, I'll tell you what they could do right now, Larry. The most popular truck, the most sold truck in America is the Ford F-150.
F-150.
Yep. If you electrify that F-150, and since you already got that great customer base that comes back like every other year. So what y'all don't know, businessmen who have a business and they need to get a good write-off every single year, they'll just go lease another Ford F-150 for their business. And the police forces, police units, have deals with Ford for their vehicles as well. So if Ford really wanted to make a dent in the EV market, and this new CEO is saying he's not only trying to take on Tesla, he's trying to lap Tesla. And to do that, you're going to have to use some of your staples, which is the Ford F-150, and take them on and outperform them. Having said all those things,
I think I'm going to do my first option this next week, and it's going to be with Ford.
I can't wait.
And I'll tell you why. Because if I get stuck with the stock, I don't care because I plan on buying 100 shares of it anyway. So if I get stuck with it, that's okay. If I don't get stuck with it, I'm just going to take the premium that I earned and use it to go towards buying 100 shares of it anyway.
Right. Either way you look at it, you can't lose. And
because if they do lap Tesla and they jump up and they figure out a way to get their stock price up to $1,400 like Tesla, I'm making bank.
Yeah, but here's the thing. When you are an investor, you ask yourself a couple of questions, and one of them is, how long are you willing to let your money not make money? That's a question every investor asks. How long is this going to take for my investment? What is the risk? How much I got to put up? Right now, for Ford, you ain't got to put up a lot to get a lot of shares, but you're going to be waiting a couple of years before that money comes back because they're not even going to release the new electric Ford Mustang until 2022. So you're going to be sitting on that money for at least a year and a half.
So let me think about it like this. Normally, sometimes I'll buy gadgets and stuff that I want. Some stuff I'll buy. Like if I don't get the stuff I want to review, sometimes I'll buy it. Like yesterday, I bought the new Samsung Note 20.
Okay.
Did I need that phone? No, but I could have taken that money and bought some Ford stock, and so I might just do that. I might just go, hey, you know what? I'm going to take 600. If its stock stays around 600 and something or $6 and something for a minute, I might just say, okay, for the rest of the year, I'll just take $600 a month and go buy another 100 shares of Ford. And by the end of the year, I'm going to have, this is what, August. So, I have September, October, November, December. I'll have another 400 shares of it.
Right.
So, and then let that blow up. Let me end up with 1,000 shares of Ford, and then it hits that that $1,400 mark like Tesla's at, and watch me be a millionaire.
Bruh, if you stick with me and this plan that I got for doing options and listen to a brother, you're gonna be a millionaire way before 2 years, because you do the options right. You can make a whole lot of money in this thing, because it's the only commitment you're giving up is not losing the money, it's time. Time is your only commitment, as long as you pick a good stock that you want. And so, ladies and gentlemen, having said that, we're going to have to record.
I did want to point out one thing to you.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember a while back. This was a good while back. I pointed out it was a company called Sorrento Therapeutics that's out of San Diego. They were working on some COVID stuff. And I said, I think we should get in on this. I didn't buy it. And I'm kicking myself. It was like $3 when I said we should get on this.
Right.
They're at $14.48 today.
Sorrento
Therapeutics. And they haven't just shot up. Like, it's not like one of these companies. They've been slowly creeping up. It's just like they were up at like $3 and $5 and $6 and $7 and $8. And then they did have a little bit of a jump somewhere, because a couple days ago they were at like $9. And today I noticed they were at 14. So they did have a little bit of a jump on one of those days, but they just been creeping up. And now they're at $14.48 a share.
But I mean, these medical stocks, man, it's honestly like picking the lottery. Honestly. I mean, because when you look at the history of all of them, I'm looking at it right now. In the last 5 years up to this date, they've lost 32%, which is $6.84. And in the last year, they made a gain of 500% in the last year. And in the last 3 months, they've made a gain of 400%. So it's kind of like picking the lottery with these things, man.
Right.
And that's why I never pick them unless I am playing the lottery. And I played the lottery with you guys, but I did my homework and we've won. We've won on NIO. We definitely won on Tesla, and we won on Workhorse. And we
Are you done with NIO?
I'm out. Larry, I pulled my profits on NIO. I pulled my profits on Workhorse. I pulled my profits on Lee. I pulled my profits on what was that other one I had? I sold off a lot of stuff today to buy up. I bought up T-Mobile. I bought up Apple. I bought another share of Microsoft. I bought up some I bought a share of Google. And what else did I do with that money? I bought Ford, then I sold it, and then I bought some more gold, and then I invested in SPHD ETF. And so I just went full diversification today, because, ladies and gentlemen,
I didn't agree with your T-Mobile move, but I told you that earlier.
That's all good, because my dollar cost average with them is still way low, because I bought so many shares when T-Mobile was like $90. So it didn't hurt my dollar cost average too much. And so, ladies and gentlemen, right now, if you haven't downloaded the Robinhood app, use my link and download and get in this game. We're still stuck with coronavirus, which still means you can get some of these great stocks at a discount. You can build a foundation for your investing with the technology stocks. And then if you want to take some risk on things that are going to grow in the future, you can buy some of the stocks that are at a major discount right now due to the coronavirus. And so
that company you said you were going to do the big option for, stamps.com, you should have done it. If you didn't do it, you should have done it, because they jumped $46 today. They went up $46 today.
I'm not going to do it until next Friday, because when I do that option, I'm going to record that option live with Larry, because this is an opportunity for an option. You can make $5,500 a week just by putting your money at work on stamps.com. And I believe in them, because it's almost Christmas time anyway. It's almost election time, and people are going to be doing the mail-in voting. So that's another reason why stamps.com is so hot. Plus, everybody is home doing more mailing, which has driven this stock through the roof. So what is the
Yeah.
thing up to now? Like $400 some now?
But it's 309. It closed. The previous close was 262, and it closed today at 309.
Yeah. So I'm going to record that option live with Larry and just break it down and have him be the person asking questions as if he's never done it before, just to show you guys the power of making money in options can give you something to be motivated to just actually save your money. Forget buying a Galaxy phone, forget buying Air Jordans, save your money because you can put it here to work for you to make you more money long term. Then you can go buy all that stuff. But speaking of that, I need a new phone anyway, Larry. I've been holding on to this old phone for so long. I've got the Galaxy 7. And so tell me about that phone, then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, man, the Note 20 looks like it's going to be nice. You know, it's got all the latest specs that you would expect on there. I think it's got like a Snapdragon 865 or something crazy in there. And it's got, I believe it has like 8 gigs of RAM. It has like a 50x camera on there or something. It looks like it's going to be a nice phone. I'll be honest with you. I bought the phone because I already had a Note 10. And that was for a while, that was my main Android phone. And so they were offering a trade-in of like $650. And so it was $650. And then on top of that, if you pre-ordered, they gave you like an extra $150 off. If you bought the Note 20, if you bought the Note 20 Ultra, it was an extra $200 off. So I ended up paying out of pocket $300. I think it was $300 and some odd change. So it wasn't like I came out of pocket a whole lot for that phone. I mean, and I've done that. I got a really great deal on the Note 9 back in the day. And so I bought the Note 9 for next to nothing because I bought it like, you know, sometimes like in the middle of their cycle, they're trying to get rid of old stock. And so they drop the prices a lot. And I went in, I bought this phone on a really ridiculous deal. So it was only a few $100. And then at the end of the Note 9 cycle, they had a crazy deal on the Note 10 where it was like $700 off the phone, and the phone was they were selling the Note 10 for like $900 and something bucks. So I ended up paying like $200 and some for it. So then this time I'm doing the same thing. I've just you know traded in the old one, got like $650 off of it, and the phone was this phone was I think it was $999. They gave me $650 trade-in credit, plus because I had signed up for some pre-order, they gave me $50 extra and then another $100. So I ended up with $150 off on top of that. So, and I got a pair of free Galaxy Buds Live. So I mean, Larry, I'm coming out of the deal with a whole lot for not a lot.
I can't let you go without getting 2 minutes of political talk for our homegirl Trisha C, who super chats and is a big fan of this channel. So I'm gonna pose a question to you. I'll let you finish off on that. They tried to reach a budget agreement today. We heard from Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. Then we hear from Mark Meadows and Mnuchin. Nancy Pelosi says they decreased $1 trillion and wanted the Republicans to do the same thing, the opposite direction, and they wouldn't budge. Then we hear from Mark Meadows and Mnuchin claiming that they are close to a deal, but where they're failing is coming to an agreement on the unemployment. They want to give people $200 a week, and giving states more money is where they seem to be missing. Give some insight to Trisha on what is really going on and how this is just overall bad for the American people.
See, here's the crazy thing. This is what I don't think that people seem. I don't know if it's the general public out there or not that get it, or if it's just the Republicans because they're the senators, because they're a bunch of it's a white man's millionaire club basically. Mm-hmm. But when you're up there complaining that we shouldn't give people $600 a month because that's more than what a lot of people are earning at work, so we shouldn't give them that much money because they won't want to go back to work. What you do in that moment is you don't say to yourself, we shouldn't give them that money. What you should say is, well, damn, maybe we need to up the federal minimum wage so that people are making more than $600 a week. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. People are saying, why should I go to work for $500 a week when I can make $600 on unemployment? I mean, it's crazy when you make so little money that when the I mean, because we all know the federal government is cheap. If they say we're going to hand out, we're going to give, we're going to do a, I don't want to call it a handout of sorts, but an entitlement. You know that entitlement's not going to be very much money. And so when they think, well, geez, how little can we get of them and get away with it? And the senator thinking, oh, let's give them $600 a week. I mean, that's not very much. I mean, $600, that's what I paid for my dry cleaning last week, you know? So they said, cool, $600 a week. That's low enough. Well, that should keep all the conservatives happy. Say, we only gave them $600 a week. And then they turned around and found out, oh, damn, that's more than they make in a month. That's more than they make a week anyway. We paid them too much. I mean, really what it comes down to is we need to pay not just our essential workers, not just our service workers. We need to pay all workers in this country more money, except for maybe athletes and the highest paid athletes. I mean, highest paid actors, they make enough. But our normal actors, our normal everyday actors, the ones that are playing bit roles, working for SAG minimum, they should probably make more money too. But you know, that's really what should have happened. But the other part is that the Republicans have put themselves in this situation now where the Democrats came out in May and said, here is a second stimulus package. Let's get this thing passed well in advance so that we're not pushed up against a timetable. You know, we're not pushed up against a deadline trying to get this thing passed. The Republicans said, nah, because what they wanted to do is they wanted to let it go on and go on and go on so that when they came in at the last minute with some bull, they can then turn around and try and say, see, the Democrats won't budge. They won't give you your stimulus package. But that's just not working this time. People know the game. They're hip to the game. And they realize when they see this, they're like, wait a minute, this is supposed to be a stimulus package to help the workers of the country. It's supposed to help the everyday person. Why is there, $340 billion for military aid? Why is there $400 million or $400 billion going to some, military contractors? Why is there money in here for a new tank that the military said they don't even want? Why is there money in here for a new airplane that the Air Force doesn't want or need? Right. Why is all this stuff in there? This should be in a separate military budget or a separate just general budget. Why is this stuff in a stimulus package? And so the Democrats are saying, you want to give all this money to your friends at the industry in the military industrial complex. You want to give your friends over at Raytheon and General Dynamics and Bay Systems and Halliburton. You want to give all of them all these billions of dollars, and then you want to tell the American people who are out there half starving, waiting to get evicted in the middle of a pandemic, who you've already cut their health insurance. You want to tell them, we're cutting your unemployment benefits from $600 to $200. That's asinine.
Complete asinine.
That is asinine. And so when the Democrats are simply saying no, because they know this is not a short-term game. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. So if you tell them no today, you either force the Republicans to come back with a real stimulus package to restore the $600 a week, or what they simply do is the Democrats will just say, we'll just hold out and wait for the election. When the people are hungry, when they're starving, when they've been evicted because the Republicans wouldn't pass a stimulus package, we'll go ahead and take all those people's votes at the ballot box. And then we will immediately turn around in January, if we even have to wait that long, and pass a stimulus package to get those people the relief that they need.
And get this shit done. So, and to clarify to put a bow on Larry's statement, Mnuchin claims that because the Democrats don't want to act, they're going to sign executive orders to act. Now, ladies and gentlemen, no federal spending can be done without a bill being passed. So I don't know what the hell kind of executive orders he's going to sign. That was for his dumbass base that don't know nothing about politics. He can sign orders, but it ain't going to go through.
The president doesn't have enough discretionary spending to do that. Nope. And the only way, like the way they tried to do it before, they tried to say, oh, we're going to redirect funds from the Pentagon or from the military budgets over to build the wall. And they even got pushed back against that. You can't do that and take that money from there and send it to the states to fund social programs like unemployment. You can't do that. So he can sign all kinds of executive orders, but the executive orders aren't going to do anything.
Nothing. And so, Trisha C., we hope we was able to help you keep your sanity, because we stuck that last little segment in there just for you, because we know that you'll kick us to the curb because old T Streams ain't up here. So Larry, get us on out of here for the weekend, guys. We'll have review videos up by Sunday, and we'll be back on Monday. Get us out of here, my brother, because I got to get some sleep for my shift.
Man, well, everybody, it has been real. Make sure that you guys, check us out on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Make sure you show up. Keep this brother motivated, because he's trying to go to sleep on me. He's over here dozing off. He's on here talking, and then waking up mid-sentence. So, but in all seriousness, make sure that you protect yourself when you go out. Wear a mask. If other people are not out there wearing masks, don't be afraid to tell somebody, hey, man, can you please put your mask up? Hey, ma'am, can you please put your mask up? Just be polite first. I say be polite first. If you try and be polite and they say no, or they become an asshole, I'm not telling you what to do. I mean, personally, I think in those situations, it's probably better just to get up and turn around and leave. And if you have the opportunity to leave if you're in a store and you happen to see the manager, it would be a good opportunity to tell the manager, I came here to shop and I'm leaving and taking my money elsewhere because you have people in your store that don't have their mask up. And when I asked them, they refused. And so I'm leaving. Until you guys enforce the mask mandate, I'm leaving and I'm not coming back. So, but with that, please mask up. I'm going to keep on saying it. I have a whole bunch of face masks that I received in this week. I'm going to start reviewing them for next week. So you'll see those. I have some masks. I have some giveaways. Please, please, please mask up.
Mm-hmm. So you heard it there, ladies and gentlemen. Mask up. Get ready to vote. If your state is going to allow you to do mail-in voting, fill out the paperwork now. Be prepared. And we will keep you posted on all these good things as we plan on going live from now until they hire us for a network TV show. And until that next Sexy as Hell
we'll take
video.
Cable too. We'll take cable too.
We'll take cable to that next Sexy as Hell video. We'll see you.
Peace.